Bro Show.
Happy day, Bro Nation. Welcome to the Bro Show, where we talk about everything and anything and try to make sense of what's happening. The Bro Show is always being brought to us by Evian Natural Spring Water. Water the way nature intended. Ng Jack in the Box all-day breakfast. Breakfast all the way. Ng Godfather shoes, uniquely handcrafted, especially made just for you. And the Medical City. For your next travel to the Philippines, choose the Medical City. Call 988-8627. My name is DJ Doods, your true Manila man, and I am with the Bro Force, starting with the expert in GCQ, the Professor Matt Lesser Batel. Prof, good morning.
Happy day, happy Friday, DJ Doods, at sa ating mga tagapakinig. At talagang with 18 months under GCQ, what can I say, eksperto na talaga ako. Yeah. But I'm very excited for this episode of The Bro Show. DJ Doods, take it away.
Oh yes, we're all starstruck. And of course, to complete our Triforce, we got the master of GTG, the Wired Man, Mr. Bojo Molina. Boj, good morning.
Got to go. Yung ba yun? Anyways, magandang umaga, dudes. Magandang umaga, Prof. And ako naman. And I miss this good friend of mine. My sister. I love working with her before. And then, dudes, ikaw na mag-introduce para hindi ko naman ma-spoil.
We all miss her in the big screen, in television, in everything that she did and still doing. Of course, she's really one of the most charming Filipino celebrities in Philippine show business. And of course, one of the most gorgeous OMG, our guest for today, Ms. G. Tongi. Ms. G, hello, welcome to the Bro Show.
Hi, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. I'm calling in from Los Angeles, California. Alam ko we're all over the world, so isn't technology amazing?
Mm-hmm. Yes, super. And again, we are so happy to have you. Ms. G, now you mentioned that you are in LA. Before you were in New York, right? And then
yes.
Nag-transfer ka na.
Yes.
Nag-move ka na sa LA.
So I moved, I officially moved out, left Manila in 2000, and I went to New York City first for school. I went to theater school at Lee Strasberg for 2 years before moving to LA. And LA, actually, here's a fun fact, is the longest place I've ever lived in my life.
Wow.
Talaga?
Yeah.
Talo pa
Since
Manila?
2003. Since 2003. So, I've lived in LA more than I've lived in the Philippines, or I've lived in Switzerland, where my father is from, or New Jersey, where I used to live growing up as a girl. So yeah, it's just, LA is home, and I'm so glad to be joining you from home. So those are the things about this pandemic that, it really has brought the world closer.
All right, Ms. G, we do have this segment in our show. It's called the Fast Talk, or, the Slam Jam with the Bros. I will be passing the microphone to the professor. Professor, we want to get to know Ms. G. Tongi a little, deeper.
All right. Thank you, DJ Doods. Ms. G, first thing that comes out of your head, don't have to overthink it. Simulan ko na. All right. Ano ang staple video kay song mo whenever you're in karaoke or videoke?
Dancing Queen!
May follow-up question ako dyan. Ano naman yung go-to dance song mo? Because we all know that Ms. G. Tongi is a great dancer.
Sumayaw sumunod na sakit na ta-da-da. Basta may partner, ha. So para pwede ako mag-swing.
Isa yun sa mga namimiss natin, di ba? Dance shows sa Pilipinas.
Wala na ganun, no?
Right?
Yeah.
Another reason for Miss G. Tongi to go back to show business and do another dance show para sa mga Pinoy.
Best in Cha-Cha.
Oh, there you go.
Ayun, no?
Oh my God!
Right. Gusto ko. I really love it that the trophy is just right beside Miss G. Tongi.
I know! It's
Perfect.
there.
Talking about the stars are so aligned.
Hindi niya po alam yung tanong na yun. Ha? Talagang nandyan na talaga yung trophy.
Just in case, right? Just in case. Hey.
Okay, second question. First movie na napanood mo that made you want to be an actress?
Princess Bride.
Oh. Classic.
I like
classic. Third question. And I'm sure ito, coming from, a family of different cultures, this is very relevant to. Ano ang pagkain gusto mo na ayaw ng iba mong family members?
Adobong pusit.
Oh,
Okay.
that's masarap yun.
Ang sarap
bakit
nun, di
nila?
ba?
Diba?
Pero
Bakit nila ayaw?
kasi my husband is, born here in America, Caucasian, and he's a fisherman. So, sorry, that's my dog. So, para sa kanya, ang pusit, bait. Hindi siya pagkain.
Correct.
Right? Tapos, itim pa. So, syempre yung mga bagets ko, parang, ako naman, it's okay. It's all mine. I don't need to share. It's fine.
Right. Fourth question. Ito, very, very controversial. G, your hair smells terrific, or Ginebra San Miguel?
Your hair smells terrific, even though I was a Pantene girl and a Head and Shoulders girl.
There you go.
All right. Eto, this is a series of last questions, but can you tell us, number one, your favorite leading man sa pelikula and your favorite director?
Wow, fun fact. My favorite leading man is also my favorite director, Eric Kizan.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. The lot of great hits in the early 2000s. Yeah, we watch all of those.
He discovered me. The reason I became an actress. I was a model and he approached me at this discotheque called Faces back in the day. And
Oh, wow.
do you want to be an actress? And you know what I said? I was like, actress? Ew, baduy. Because I was modeling. But, he convinced me and here I am.
How did Mr. Eric Kizan convince you?
He had just graduated from NYU from the directing program. And so he was talking to me about, the kind of film that he wanted to do, which was actually the story of his mom. And so he was asking if I could play his mom in this film called Langit sa Piling Mo. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. And then when he said, oh, we're shooting in America, I was like, yeah, okay. Let's go. And then the very next week, he brought me to Mother Lily. And Mother Lily signed me to a 16-picture 4-year contract. I was 16. And that really changed the course of my life.
16 movies in 4 years. Talking
I
about
ended up
busy,
doing
right?
more. I ended up doing over 35 films.
So right now, ibalik lang natin ng konti because I know everyone has been affected by this pandemic. How will you and the family cope with this new norm that you have there in LA on the things that you're doing right now?
So, quarantine, I was way too busy to think of anything else. I was finishing graduate school. So I was busy studying. Every single moment that I had free time, I was reading, I was writing, doing my, my projects for school. So I really didn't have any other time to think of anything else. I was working in my day job during the day where I do marketing and branding. And then the kids were also on Zoom. So we were all on our devices all day long. And then because in-person school also got canceled, I was also on Zoom in the evening. So you can say that it was a lot, but I mean, to think that I was able to do it in quarantine, I don't know how, but yeah, I graduated in June. When I look back at quarantine, all I really remember is just focusing so much on my studies that I tried not to watch the news. I really tried to be in this bubble where all I was thinking about is this nonprofit sector and what that means to the Filipino American community, which is what I took my master's on. which is nonprofit management, and how to bring resources to the Filipino community. So yeah, I didn't go out much. I didn't go to the grocery store. If we did go out, it was to walk the dogs. We got 2 dogs in quarantine. So besides being a new dog parent, I was studying. That was all I was doing.
Ang sipag-sipag naman ni Miss G. Busy with a non-profit organization, studies, of course, being a wonderful parent, and dog mommy din. Ang daming ginagawa. Professor, go ahead.
Easy.
Yeah, you mentioned about your studies and the organization that you were affiliated with. Tell us about what you finished in your graduate studies. And you are currently the executive director of the Film Arts nonprofit organization. Why don't you tell our kababayans about this wonderful things that you're involved with at the moment?
Sure. So I discovered Film Arts, also known as the Association for the Advancement of Filipino American Arts and Culture. I discovered this organization when I first came to LA in September of 2003. Since then, I have been a volunteer whenever they needed a host on stage. And they are the presenters of the Festival of Philippine Arts and Culture. It's called FPAC, and it is the largest festival for Filipinos and Filipino Americans every year in Los Angeles, which started in 1991. I discovered them in 2003 because a friend of mine was a board member, invited me to host. And since then, I have escalated from being a volunteer host to being a festival director, where I programmed all the talent on stage in 2015 for the 25th anniversary. And then from there, I became a board member. And then in May of 2019, there was a major transition where I had the opportunity to step into a leadership capacity. And so because I had known the organization for so long, I was offered the programming director position, which basically means I program all the events. And so whenever there were any Filipino American productions or artists that needed amplification, I created the programming in order to be able to support that endeavor. And so earlier this year, I was asked to be the executive director, which literally means that you're sort of the CEO of the organization. And so, now I have a brand new board of directors, and, people often mistake nonprofit organization work, charitable work, as not profitable, right?
Mhm.
But
Yes.
the thing is, especially the Filipino community, the Filipino American community, is a historically marginalized community in America, much like the African American community, the Asian American community. And
Mhm.
because there are so many resources available that have not historically been given to people of color, it has become really my job, my mission, and my passion to be able to access these resources. And so the reason I went to grad school is to understand sort of the machinery that goes into raising funding, making sure it's profitable, providing programs for Filipino Americans that want to discover their heritage through arts and culture, and understanding how to make that happen. And a lot of things have been percolating, so to speak, because when we think about Filipinos and the arts, it's part of our culture. Kultura natin na kumanta, sumayaw, 'di ba? But unlike the Western world, where arts is something that people train for, the Filipinos are naturally talented, right? But
Mhm.
because of that, also people do not see that arts are essential. Because as a Filipino in the diaspora, a lot of us left the Philippines because we needed better opportunities. And so
Mhm.
I'm discovering that there are three things that a Filipino will give in the diaspora. Okay, three things, and they start with three R's. The first is pag may bagyo, right? Kapag may landslide, relief operations. Yan, Filipinos will contribute. The third, we are very religious. We are, a lot of us are Catholics. And so religion is something that we will always tithe or give money to, di ba? Pag dumating ang basket, magbibigay tayo. And then the third is regional affiliation. Oy, Batangas Association of ganyan. Oy, Ilocano. So, di ba? But arts and culture is not something that people in our community give. And so that is really my biggest challenge is one, to overcome the hiya, right? The hiya of asking people for monetary donations, because a nonprofit has to survive on donations, right? So that was very difficult for me to be able to like ask people for donations, because as a Filipino, hindi tayo we're not philanthropic. We're tribal. We will always look out for our own, but we cannot give unless our basic necessities are met. And because we come from this scarcity mentality, the arts seem to be like, arts lang yan, So it's my job to really educate people on how artists need our support, because it is the artists that are our culture bearers around the world. They give us the identity of what it means to be Filipino.
OMG. On those couple of minutes, ang dami. It's a mix of everything. We've learned a lot from Ms. G. Tongi. We are motivated. Yeah, we are fired up. And then it brought us to that moment na napapaisip talaga tayo, di ba? Ms. G, those are hard, di ba? How do you contain so much responsibilities in one personality, di ba? Because to be honest, di ba, you can just choose a private life after show business, di ba? But you chose to help. Saan mo nakukuha yung drive na yan?
Well, thank you. First of all, I've been very fortunate to be part of this phenomenal career. Before I turned 21, I was an actor in the Philippines, and I was with Bojo, part of this phenomenal show that until today, alam mo ba, may mga taong talagang, uy, crush kita nung bata ako. Ako naman, tanda ko na ba? Ganun ba? But
we have to raise our hands too. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
And can I say, and can I share that Miss G doesn't, she looks exactly the same in 1996 as she is right now.
Oh, well, thank you very, very much. But, I want to make use of this special gift that I have, right? The fact that people do know me from the 90s. How can I use what has been given to me so that I can serve others, right? Because really leadership is about serving. And so if I have sort of this opportunity where people do know my work and do know who I am, then I can catalyze and repurpose, people's attention to understand who's performing and who needs help. So I know it feels very like beauty queenish, but in order to make use of who I am, I can't deny that I have to be able to utilize what I've been given. So that's where I'm lucky that I found my North Star, my purpose. Because I know that, not everybody gets an opportunity where they're really passionate about what they do and they're able to fulfill that passion. And so, especially here in Hollywood, I have been here since 2003. I used to have an agent. I still do. I act here and there. But when I look in the mirror, I'm not Filipino. You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't look Filipino to people that don't know what Filipino is, right? So therefore, what I can do, because I may not play a Filipino ever on TV, I might play a nondescript sort of person or ethnicity. But what I can do is advocate so that Hollywood gets more opportunities to tell authentic Filipino stories. And we're doing that. We're consulting with major networks. Whenever there is a project that does involve a Filipino, we're always quick to lend a helping hand to make sure that that representation isn't one-dimensional, right? And an example of this was there was a project that was at Universal, NBC Universal, and it was about a mail order bride, a Filipina playing a mail order bride. It was greenlit. They were about to shoot, and the community really rallied together to dispute the fact that that's not our story. You cannot represent us that way. So thankfully they canceled the show, but these are the things that, because the Filipino is so used to trying not to make noise, right? We put our heads down, we work hard. But really now is a time where the doors are opening for us to really make our mark. And it's exciting. Like Joe Coy just finished a film produced by Steven Spielberg, Amblin Entertainment, right? That's coming out next year. It's called, sorry about that, Easter Sunday. And, more and more projects are happening that have a Filipino narrative. And so we will continue to knock on people's doors and really tell them that we are the fastest growing Asian American Pacific Islander group in America, are the Filipinos. And the Filipinos have been here before the Pilgrims came here in the 1500s because of, the Manila-Acapulco galleon trade. And so, we just need to, there's a saying called no history, no self, right? KNOW, you got to know your history to know who you are. Because if you don't know your history, if you don't know what that's about, then who are you, right? And so that's why this month, October, is so meaningful, particularly to me and the work that I do, because we have to amplify our kababayans that are really breaking down barriers to be able to represent us. At dapat sana, hindi na yung pagsikat na saka mo sasabihin, uy, Pinoy yan ha, Pinoy yan.
Yan. Yes, yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
It's when they need our help most, not when they're Bruno Mars, right? They need our help most when nobody knows who they are, but they're amazing. And so that's why Philam Arts exists, to be able to advocate for Filipino American artists in various multidisciplines so that we can amplify their voice and provide them an opportunity for a platform to reach more audiences.
Ang sarap pakinggan. Here. I mean, you have tackled so many points, and big respect, really huge respect to Ms. G and of course your organization. Thank you for setting up this kind of platform to advocate, to really push. Ang ganda nung sinabi ni Ms. G kanina, authentic Filipino stories. Diba? Ang ganda nun eh. It's not beauty queenish, it's a beautiful answer and it's a beautiful experience. Okay. Mr. Bojo, go ahead.
When I am really proud because I know G personally. You could imagine when we were on the set of that show Gimik, sitting down on the table during breaks, we talk about life. We're the more senior statued actors at that time, so we talk about life. And for me to hear the things that she's doing right now, it's not only that I am very proud, G, of what you're doing right now. But because right now, kanina meron kami mga word na I picked up about transitions and everything like that. It's a common question sa atin, the ones that left show business. I would not say on a very early time, but we actually moved on. But how was your transition? There was a lot of challenges that you find, or was it easy for you on your transition, having a life outside show business, but you kept yourself busy at the same time? But it's totally different. It's a 180 turn, right? So how was it?
Bojo, I'm not going to lie. The transition from being in the Philippines and being this celebrity to going to America, and nobody gives, like nobody gives you the time of day. I mean, it was humbling. It was a piece of humble pie, but I really, really enjoyed it because I really got to know who I am away from that, right? Because I was also becoming a person I didn't like. Like I was always irritable. I was always complaining. And I could not understand why I was such a bitch sometimes, right? But now that I'm older, Bojo, it's because I never knew that I always had a social justice lens. Okay. So when I was growing up in Manila, because I'm mestiza, I've been given more opportunities than, everybody else. I never went to study acting, and I was given all these roles, right? And that's privilege that I have to acknowledge. But I just didn't understand why it didn't feel right back then, because I didn't have the articulation that I have now. And so now that I understand, the economic disadvantage that Filipinos have in the Philippines, I've become an activist.
Thank you so much, because you're really showing us how big your heart is, how caring your heart is, and how brave your mind is, diba? Because you're right. If you're privileged, it's so easy to just ignore or really
to put the blinders on, right?
Exactly.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're right. We need to use our voices, and this is the kind of celebrities that we need in the Philippines. They use their voice, their influence, their platforms, so that other important issues will be tackled and other perspectives will be heard. Diba? Ang ganda ng ginagawa, ma'am. Much respect.
May repercussion din yun, diba? You're gonna get blacklisted.
Correct.
Yeah.
You will be harassed.
Well, going to the one that you said, that sometimes it's really the corruption of the system. Now it's the system who is really, pushing you down.
It's systemic.
It's this. Yes. Professor, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that we wanted Miss G to be in our show to talk about how she was. And now we got a lesson in sociology. I actually learned more from Miss G than probably 3 or 4 of my sociology professors in college. So
let's name them now. Professor, let's name the professors.
No, because here's the thing, right? We can talk about superficial stuff, or we can really talk about why Bojo, me, DJ Doods left, right? Why so many Filipinos leave.
Right.
Why ang hirap-hirap ng buhay sa Pilipinas. Like, those are the things that keep me up at night, because I recognize my privilege, and I want to be able to, in my own little way, kahit paano ba tayo tutulong?
Yeah. And then at the same time, I just want to piggyback on what she said. It's not because we're trying to escape that hardship. It's because we want a better opportunity for ourselves to be able to help at the same time, right? What like G's do.
Totally agree. Agree. Yes. Professor, you were saying,
are you considering opportunities for work in the Philippines, projects perhaps in the future? Is that within your radar?
Yes, absolutely. It always is and always has been. It's just that quarantine has really made it just so difficult. And also, I always have gone back to the Philippines at least once a year, to do a project here and there. It's been a couple of years because I was in school, but I'm always constantly, whenever there's like a production here and I'm available, I will do it. But the thing is, I love acting, but that's not my superpower. It's what I love to do, but it's not my superpower.
I was about to say that more than the acting, we really need your voice here because let's face it, even ourselves, hindi natin kilala yung sarili natin, and Miss G has walked through us, our history and what we should be in the past 20, 30 minutes. So more than acting, Miss G, we hope to really feel your social activism here in the Philippines.
Activists are not terrorists.
Exactly. We need to be clear on that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We do have a say. We do have a voice.
Yes.
And we are part of course, the bigger picture of everything. Nation building.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, pushing our rights. Yeah, Bojo, please continue.
Well, kay G talagang I would say we are lucky. We are lucky to have you there representing us. Again, I would never stop saying proud because we've seen this us being, sometimes we have this debates on when we're sitting down before when we're a bit younger, not because we can't figure out yet who we are until we moved out from our comfort zone and try it out there. And eto na tayo ngayon. But anyways, there's a lot I want to say thank you about. But of course, we want to do also some lighter side of the questions right now that we have, right? Lighter side naman tayo. Because definitely later on, we'll give you a time to invite everyone on all the projects that you have for this month. Pero may big question si Doods at saka si Prof. Total nasa Hollywood ka daw. Halimbawa, nagka-casting na sa the production side ka. And they will do a Gimik Hollywood version. Who would you like to play as Gina in that movie? Hollywood actress.
Oh, wow. Vanessa Hudgens? I don't know.
Oh, there you go. That's something that everyone is asking. May mga ganong question. Prof, ikaw, may question ka ba?
Yeah. You've been in show business for quite some time, but meron bang celebrity that when you get chance to meet him or her, nagpa-fangirl moment ka?
Yeah, so Don Zulueta has always been my girl crush.
Wow.
Yeah, growing up, Don Zulueta was, hihintahin kita sa langit, with Richard Gomez. And, I'm lucky because I joined show business at a time where there still wasn't social media.
Yes.
Right. And so the gift of that is that I was able to meet yung artista kasi noon, iba sa artista ngayon. Right? Because we weren't privy to their personal lives. You really looked at the work. You really looked at somebody's work. And that's why you admire them. Not because they have an Hermes bag or they have a nice car or, you don't get to see that side. And so I think for me, Don Zulueta has always been a woman of substance. She's very well spoken. She's an impeccable host. And despite the fact that she's gorgeous, she's also quite talented. Because, iba yung maganda ka, pero pag may talent ka na, talagang nakakatalagang
sobra na yun.
Sobra na yun, di ba?
Yeah, and then when it comes to men, like growing up, Richard Gomez was Richard Gomez, and I got to play opposite Richard Gomez back in the day, so it was like, is this really happening? I got to work with Maricel Soriano. Like, these are the people that when you think about their careers, you cannot help but gush when you meet them. So, nagpa-fangirl ako sa mga artista nung araw.
Ms. G, the big question, we were talking about this off the air. magkakaroon ba ng Gimik, the reunion 2.0? The last time that there was a reunion, it was about 11 years ago, 10 years ago, a decade ago. Okay. Maybe it's about time. Of course, all your fans, including us, yun ang naiisip eh. Miss na namin ng Gimik. Magkakaroon ba ng Gimik, the legacy, anytime soon? Are you up for, another Gimik soon?
Well, we should ask Direk Lauren Jogi.
Lauren, exactly.
Now, one of the executives of ABS-CBN. But, Gimik is always going to be that special show that people remember during the 90s growing up, right? Yes. Saturday afternoons. And it's hard to try to recreate that because it's a time that's, it's hard to one, put us all together, right? A lot of our mga kasama are off doing their own things. Also, Rico has passed on. So we will never be able to create Gimik the way it used to be. But maybe that's the magic in it, right?
Is there any particular work that you made or nagawa mo before na you will highly recommend? Kasi sinabi mo kanina may mga anak tulad ko. My kids are watching Gimik on Jeepney TV on YouTube, right? Pinapalabas ulit tayo, may 28 episodes. Is there any other work na ginawa mo na you highly recommend for your kids to watch?
Gulp. I did a movie with Peke Galiaga, but they're not old enough to watch it.
Okay.
But, when I think about, being an actress and having the opportunity to work with an auteur director like Peke Galiaga and Lori Reyes,
Yes.
we did a film called Delirio, and it was a, it was a very sensual film, which my kids can't watch yet, but when I think about what that film represented in my life at the time, it really brings me back to, discovering my womanhood. And, I was 18, and Dalagang Pilipina, I got to go to the Toronto Film Festival.
Wow.
Like so many things happened because of that film. I also worked with the late Douglas Quijano, and Jo Marie Iliana. And so, I've done a lot of films and television shows, but really Delirio is one of those films that I'm so, so proud of because of the people that I got to work with.
Professor, go ahead.
Going back to, your job currently there, your nonprofit work, what would you say would be the Filipino trait that you are proud to showcase? Actually, three things. The Filipino trait, Filipino dish, and perhaps a place in the Philippines that you're proud to promote in your nonprofit work.
So, okay, let's start off with
the
a dish, right?
The dish, yes.
Okay, so for Filipino American History Month, Philarts is proud to present the Tikim Fest.
Wow.
Fest. So we are working with the most reputable Filipino American chefs here in Los Angeles. Chef Valerie of Yamashiro, Barb Batiste of Big Boy, Ross Pangilinan, who just got a Michelin star. We were there last night eating his food. He had chicharon, shrimp, lumpia. So really, I can't pick one dish, but what I can say is when you come to LA, the whole month, there is a chance for you to go to a restaurant to pick, like a prefix menu that celebrates our heritage through food. So I can't pick just one dish. Because that would just be difficult. So try to make tikim, all the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Tikman lahat.
Tikman lahat. And then the second question, Professor, was
the place in the Philippines that you'd like to showcase.
I think it would be an indigenous place like Lake Cebu or Mindanao, where their culture is still very preserved.
The third is really the Filipino trait that you'd like to showcase, and perhaps the trait that you often would like to your kids to imbibe.
I think the trait of kapwa, shared identity, identity.
Ganda.
That pag nakikita mo yung kaibigan mo, kababayan mo, kapitbahay mo, pag nakikita mong they're doing well, you feel like you're doing well too, right? Mm-hmm. Which is the complete opposite of this crab mentality that Filipinos can be known for, right? What does it look like for us to think about celebrating one another in the spirit of bayanihan and kapwa? That's what I would really love to impart.
Ganda. Bayanihan, kapwa, not just pakikipagkapwa but kapwa, our interconnectedness, that we're related to each other, that the success of one is also my success. So let's celebrate all the successes. Hindi natin kailangan maghilahan. Ang ganda, ang ganda, diba? And if we have those mindset all the time, I guess we are going to flourish. We're going to be more successful as people and as a nation, and we can really showcase this to the entire world to see na ang ganda at ang sarap maging Pilipino.
Bojo, we went to Guam back in the day.
Yes.
Do you remember? For
the
Gimik.
very first concert that I went out of the country was us for Gimik, and we sold out the place 4 times, I think. And we were supposed to be doing 2 shows in 2 nights. 2 shows each night. But because of the demand, there were 4 shows, 2 shows in 1 night. So yeah, that's the first time that I went to Guam also.
I can't wait to visit Guam. I've only been one time. Only that one time. But since you guys are all there, I'm just waiting for the invitation.
Definitely we'll do that, G. Definitely. Because of what you have right now, I could connect you with the Filipino heritage people also here on Guam, and we could collaborate on some projects, right, DJ Doods?
Yes, of course. You're always welcome here, but more importantly, for the advocacy that you are doing right now. Really important for us Pinoys to really show the world that we can do it, and we are equipped with so much talents, and we have the heart to be caring, not just for our kapwa, but to the entire world. Again, Ms. G. Tongi, maraming salamat. Dami naming dapat ipagpasalamat. Thank you for all the works that you have done in show business. Maraming salamat sa talino. Maraming salamat sa lalim. Maraming salamat sa malasakit. Maraming salamat sa tapang. You're not just a superstar in show business, but you are a Pinay champion. And we are really proud of you. Ang dami namin natutunan ngayon. Again, thank you. Thank you so much.
Maraming salamat, guys. More power to you guys. Salamat.
Thank you. And please continue your magic in a magenta. Again, we are going to pray. Yes, we're going to pray for... Again, we are going to support you, and we're going to, of course, pray for the successes in everything that you do. Maraming salamat. Professor and Tito Boj, any last message for Ms. G for this episode?
I'd like to thank Ms. G for all your work, your contributions. I learned a lot from our session this morning. Thank you very much, and more power.
Tito Boj?
Yes, again, kulang ang thank you, G. And please, you are our sis on the Bro Show. This is your platform as well. If you need anything to be reach out to the Filipino community, especially here on Guam and globally, please, this is yours to use for your as your platform. And then again, that word kapwa is so strong right now, and it's piercing my heart right now.
Salamat, Tito Boj.
Ms. G, we're going to give you one more opportunity to please talk to our kababayan right now, especially here, our kababayans here on the island, Guam. Ms. G, please go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say maraming salamat to the Bro Show. There's a car. Their alarm is going off outside. I'm sorry about that. Oh my God. All right. I just want to say thank you to the Bro Show. Maraming salamat for this opportunity to catch up, to talk about what I'm passionate about. And, my message to our kababayans, please, if you know of a local artist in your community that's Filipino, support them by, buying tickets to their show, telling people you know about them, supporting them, even if it's, donating food, donating time, volunteering, anything that we can do from the goodness of our heart to help our fellow kababayans, please do so because you don't just feel good, but talagang kailangan natin magtulungan. So please, let's build together because a united Filipino is a Filipino that will go places anywhere in the world. So maraming salamat sa inyo ulit. And if you want to follow me on social media, I'm at GTONGI on Instagram. And, I'm always on Instagram. So message me. I'd love to get to know your story.
There you have it, bros and sis. One super Pinay, one spectacular human being. OM, it's G. Tongi. Yes. Thank you so much, bros and sis. My name is DJ Doods, and thank you so much for listening to The Bro Show. Thank you for watching us as well. We're always reminding you to work hard, to be kind, to pray harder. Amazing things from God will definitely happen. Please enjoy your Friday, and God bless everyone.